Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today I want you to face the one thing that's quietly stealing your dreams. It's not your enemies, not your failures. It's something far more dangerous. It's laziness, the silent killer of success that whispers, "Do it later." Laziness is the invisible enemy that creeps into your life silently, without warning. It does not knock on your door loudly. It whispers softly in your ear, "Rest a little longer, you can do it later." It hides behind comfort, disguising itself as relaxation, peace, and self-care, but beneath that mask lies a silent destroyer of dreams. The truth is, laziness never announces its arrival. It begins as a single choice, skipping one task, delaying one call, ignoring one opportunity. But soon, that single act of postponement becomes a pattern, and that pattern becomes your reality. It doesn't ruin your life overnight. It does it slowly, like rust eating away at metal, quietly corroding your ambition while you remain unaware. People often think laziness is harmless. They say, "I'm just tired today," or "I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow never comes, because laziness always finds a new excuse. It gives you a false sense of comfort, telling you that rest is necessary, even when you've done nothing to earn it. It convinces you that you are safe, that time is on your side, that your goals can wait. But time doesn't wait for anyone. Every second spent in laziness is a second taken away from your growth, your progress, and your future. The dangerous thing about laziness is that it doesn't feel like a threat. It feels warm, cozy, and comfortable. Until one day you look around and realize you're still in the same place you were years ago. Laziness kills more dreams than failure ever could. Failure at least teaches you a lesson. Laziness teaches you nothing. Failure gives you experience, while laziness gives you regret. It is the thief that steals your potential and leaves you with an empty feeling that you can't explain. You begin to wonder why nothing changes in your life, why your plans never work out, why your dreams seem so far away. The answer is simple. You've been feeding your comfort instead of your purpose. You've been protecting your excuses instead of your goals. Laziness makes you believe that staying still is easier than moving forward. But it's not. Staying still is what keeps you trapped in a life that feels smaller than the one you were meant to live. The scariest part is that laziness often hides behind good intentions. You tell yourself, "I'm waiting for the right moment. I'm just thinking it through. I'll start when I feel ready." But you'll never feel ready. The perfect time doesn't exist. Every moment you waste waiting for perfection is a moment you could have spent creating progress. Laziness thrives on delay. It grows stronger each time you surrender to it. And the longer you let it control you, the harder it becomes to break free. You start to believe your own excuses. You start to settle for average. You start to forget the fire that once burned inside you. And one day you wake up realizing you've become comfortable being stuck. Success doesn't die because of a lack of opportunity. It dies because of a lack of action. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones with perfect plans or special luck. They are the ones who simply refuse to be lazy. They move even when they don't feel like it. They push forward even when it's uncomfortable. They understand that laziness is not rest, it's resistance. True rest comes after effort, not instead of it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. One group fights their laziness daily, while the other entertains it. Laziness might feel good in the moment, but it always leads to long-term pain. The pain of regret, of missed chances, of wasted years. If you truly want to change your life, you must first recognize laziness for what it is, an invisible enemy. It doesn't wear a mask of evil, it wears the mask of comfort. It doesn't attack from outside, it lives within you waiting for you to surrender. But you have the power to fight it. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you win a battle against it. Every time you take action when you don't feel like it, you weaken it. Laziness can destroy dreams, but it cannot defeat determination. The moment you decide that your goals are more important than your excuses, that's the moment you take your power back. Because in the end, success is not about talent, luck, or timing. It's about the courage to act when laziness tells you not to. Excuses are the most valuable currency of a lazy mind. They are cheap to make, easy to spend, and endlessly available. A lazy person can create 100 reasons to avoid doing one simple thing. Excuses become their language, their defense, and their comfort zone. They say, "I don't have time," but somehow they find hours to scroll through their phones. They say, "I'm too tired," but they've done nothing that would cause exhaustion. They say, "I'll start tomorrow," but tomorrow becomes a permanent hiding place for their unrealized potential. Excuses are how the lazy mind survives. They protect laziness from accountability. They are not reasons, they are stories that make inaction feel justified. The more you tell yourself these stories, the more believable they become, and soon they shape your entire reality. A lazy person becomes a professional excuse maker. They can explain away anything. their failures, their lack of progress, their wasted time, all wrapped in the pretty packaging of justification. They say life is unfair, opportunities are rare, people are lucky, or the system is against them. They turn their focus from what they can do to what they cannot control. And that's where they lose their power. Excuses give them a false sense of comfort, making them believe that they are victims of circumstance rather than creators of their destiny. The mind convinces them that it's not their fault, that the world owes them something, and that effort is pointless. But what they don't realize is that every excuse is a brick in the wall separating them from their dreams. Every time they make an excuse, they build that wall higher and thicker until they can no longer see what's on the other side. Excuses are dangerous because they sound reasonable. They often hide behind logic and emotion. I don't have money to start. I don't have experience. I don't have the right people around me. These sound like valid points, but they are masks for fear and laziness. There are people who started with nothing, no money, no support, no guarantee, yet they acted. The difference is not in resources, but in resourcefulness. Excuses are like poison that slowly paralyzes your willpower. The first one feels harmless, but it leads to another and another, until they become your daily routine. You begin to defend your excuses more than you defend your dreams. You begin to protect your comfort instead of your purpose. You start to believe that waiting is better than working, and that someday things will magically change. But someday is not a day on the calendar. It's a fantasy built on excuses. The lazy mind always blames something: time, people, situations, even destiny. But blame doesn't change anything. It only transfers responsibility away from you. The moment you blame, you give up control. You can't change what you won't take ownership of. Successful people fail too, but they never hide behind excuses. They face the same challenges and struggles, yet they act anyway. The difference between success and failure is not luck, it's accountability. Excuses are the comfort food of the lazy. They taste good for a moment, but they leave you weak, unmotivated, and stuck. They keep you talking instead of doing. The lazy mind is full of words, while the disciplined mind is full of action. Excuses also love company. Lazy people often surround themselves with others who think the same way. Together, they build a community of justification, everyone agreeing why things can't be done. They complain together, blame together, and fail together. They mock those who work hard because deep down, effort exposes their own weakness. They call hard work, luck, or obsession, just to make themselves feel better. But while they talk, others build. While they delay, others move forward. Excuses create comfort, but action creates change. You can't have both. Every time you make an excuse, you are choosing comfort over progress. You are saying that the pain of effort is greater than the pain of regret. But that's never true. Regret hurts longer and deeper than any hard work ever will. The only way to destroy excuses is through action. Not by overthinking, not by planning forever, but by doing. Even a small step forward breaks the cycle of laziness. Excuses lose power the moment you act. The mind that once said, "I can't," starts to whisper, "Maybe I can," and soon, "I will." The truth is simple: excuses are lies told by fear and believed by laziness. They protect your comfort but destroy your potential. You can't change your life by defending your limitations. You can only change it by confronting them. Every time you feel an excuse forming in your mind, replace it with a reason to act. Because one day your excuses will fade, but the consequences of them will not. Time will pass, opportunities will vanish, and dreams will grow distant. Not because you couldn't, but because you didn't. The lazy mind always finds a reason to wait, but the disciplined heart always finds a reason to start. Discipline is the antidote to laziness, the medicine that cures the disease of procrastination and wasted potential. While laziness whispers, "Do it later," discipline commands, "Do it now." It is the invisible force that separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it asks what needs to be done. It's not built on emotion, motivation, or mood, it's built on consistency and self-control. The truth is, motivation fades but discipline sustains. Anyone can feel inspired for a moment, but only the disciplined can keep going when the excitement is gone. Success does not come to those who wait for the perfect time. It comes to those who work even when they don't feel ready. Discipline is not punishment, it's power. It is the ability to control your impulses, delay gratification, and stay focused on the bigger picture. Lazy people chase comfort while disciplined people chase growth. The lazy mind says, "I'll do it when I feel like it." The disciplined mind says, "I'll do it regardless of how I feel." That's the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck. Every great achievement in history was born from discipline. From athletes who trained when they were tired, to entrepreneurs who worked while others slept, to artists who practiced every day even when no one was watching. Discipline doesn't promise instant results, but it guarantees eventual success. The greatest lie laziness tells you is that you can succeed without effort. It tricks you into believing that talent is enough or that opportunities will somehow find you. But the truth is, talent without discipline is wasted potential. Discipline turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It teaches you that progress is not about massive leaps but small, consistent steps taken every day. It's waking up early when you want to sleep in, studying when you want to relax, saving money when you want to spend. Discipline demands sacrifice, the sacrifice of comfort, ease, and instant gratification, but it rewards you with pride, growth, and freedom. Without discipline, dreams remain fantasies. With it, they become reality. The problem with most people is that they wait for motivation to arrive before they act. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline, however, is steady. It's a decision you make once and honor every day. You brush your teeth not because you're motivated, but because you're disciplined. You go to work not because you feel inspired, but because it's your duty. Imagine applying that same consistency to your goals. Imagine showing up for your dreams the way you show up for your job or your responsibilities. That's how lives change. Not by waiting for the right mood, but by creating the right habits. Discipline is not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. You will fail, get tired, and want to give up, but discipline reminds you why you started. It keeps you moving forward even when the path feels endless. It's the voice that says, one more try, when your mind says, I can't. Lazy people think discipline is a cage, but it's actually the key to freedom. When you are disciplined, you don't need to rely on willpower every day. Your habits take over. You become stronger, sharper, and more resilient. Discipline gives you control over your life. Laziness takes it away. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has mastered the art of discipline. They don't allow emotions to dictate their actions. They work through pain, fatigue, and doubt because they know that consistency builds character. The lazy wait for the perfect condition. The disciplined create it. Discipline transforms you from being a prisoner of comfort into the architect of your destiny. It gives you the strength to say no to distractions and yes to your purpose. Each act of discipline, no matter how small, builds momentum, and that momentum becomes unstoppable power. The truth is simple but hard to accept. You cannot defeat laziness with inspiration alone. You defeat it with action, repetition, and commitment. Discipline is not glamorous, but it's effective. It doesn't promise excitement, it promises results. The person who trains their mind to act even without motivation becomes unstoppable. Discipline is not a talent. It's a choice you make every day to show up, to work, and to improve. It's the bridge between your goals and your achievements, between who you are and who you want to be. When laziness says rest, discipline says rise. And that single choice repeated daily is what turns ordinary lives into extraordinary success stories. Habits are the silent architects of your destiny. They build your future quietly, one small decision at a time. Every action you repeat daily, whether good or bad, becomes a brick in the foundation of your life. The truth is, success is not created in one big moment. It's created in the thousands of small, consistent choices you make every single day. Habits can either push you toward greatness or pull you into mediocrity. Waking up early, reading, focusing on your goals, exercising your mind and body. These seem like small acts, but together they create momentum that transforms everything. On the other hand, sleeping late, scrolling endlessly, skipping responsibilities, and wasting time slowly destroy your potential. The tragedy of life is not that people lack dreams. It's that their bad habits silently kill those dreams long before they even begin. Habits work both ways. They can build you up or break you down. What you repeatedly do becomes who you are. A lazy person doesn't suddenly wake up one day and realize they're unmotivated. It's the result of small daily decisions to take the easy route. Every "I'll do it later" becomes a seed of procrastination that grows into a forest of regret. Every time you choose distraction over discipline, you are teaching your mind that comfort is more important than progress. But when you choose effort, focus, and consistency, you train your mind to value growth over ease. Your habits don't ask for permission, they shape you automatically. That's why changing your life isn't about massive transformation. It's about changing what you do every day. Think about it, a person who reads 10 pages of a book every day might not see results in a week, but in a year they've read more than 30 books. Meanwhile, someone who scrolls through social media for just an hour daily wastes over 15 full days every year doing nothing. Those small moments decide your future. Good habits compound over time like interest in a bank account, while bad habits drain your potential like silent thieves. The problem is that bad habits feel good in the moment, while good habits feel hard. Laziness rewards you instantly with comfort, while discipline rewards you later with success. Most people trade their long-term peace for short-term pleasure without realizing the cost. Building powerful habits starts with awareness. You cannot change what you don't recognize. Look at your routine. What do you do when you wake up? How do you spend your time? What thoughts fill your mind? Every repeated behavior is either taking you closer to your goals or pulling you away from them. People often underestimate the power of small actions. They think success requires massive leaps, but it doesn't. It requires steady, consistent steps taken with purpose. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is not luck, it's consistency. One person trains daily, the other skips just one day. One person studies every night, the other says, "I'll do it tomorrow." The gap between success and failure is built in those small, invisible choices that no one sees. Good habits require effort to build, but once built, they carry you forward automatically. The same is true for bad habits. They control you even when you don't notice. That's why self-awareness is key. Replace time-wasting habits with growth habits. Replace endless scrolling with reading something that feeds your mind. Replace complaining with planning. Replace sleeping late with waking up early and using your mornings with intention. Each time you make a better choice, you are programming your future for success. Remember, you don't decide your future. You decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. Lazy habits feel harmless because their effects are not immediate. You don't see the damage today, but over time they accumulate. Missed opportunities, lost confidence, wasted years. They are all results of repeated laziness. But here's the good news: just as bad habits destroy, good habits rebuild. It's never too late to change. Every day you wake up, you have a choice to continue old patterns or create new ones. Success is not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Even one small improvement every day creates a ripple that grows into transformation. Your habits are your daily vote for the person you want to become. Each action says, "This is who I am." If you choose laziness, you're voting for failure. If you choose effort, you're voting for success. Over time, those votes define your identity and your destiny. Never underestimate the power of what you do daily, because in the end, your habits either build the future you dream of or destroy the one you were meant to have. Your environment is one of the strongest forces shaping your destiny. The people you surround yourself with either pull you forward or hold you back. Whether you realize it or not, their energy, habits, and attitudes slowly become your own. If you spend your time around lazy, unmotivated people, you will eventually adopt their mindset. You start thinking like them, talking like them, and acting like them. Laziness is contagious, just like discipline is contagious. It spreads quietly through conversations, excuses, and shared comfort. You begin to think it's normal to delay things, normal to waste time, normal to settle for less. Before you know it, your goals lose urgency and your dreams lose direction. The truth is simple: you cannot soar like an eagle if you spend your time with pigeons. The people around you influence your standards. If your circle is full of people who accept mediocrity, you'll start believing that mediocrity is enough. But when you surround yourself with driven, focused, and disciplined individuals, your energy changes. You begin to raise your standards to match theirs. They challenge you, push you, and remind you that you are capable of more. The human mind is built to adapt to its surroundings. It mirrors what it sees repeatedly. That's why your environment matters more than your intentions. You can have strong goals, but if your environment doesn't support them, you will eventually fall back into the habits of those around you. You don't need people who make you comfortable. You need people who make you grow. Being around lazy people drains your energy. They constantly complain, make excuses, and see problems in every opportunity. Their conversations revolve around gossip, negativity, and what they can't do. Slowly, that mindset seeps into your own. You start to think small, act small, and expect less from yourself. Their energy becomes your energy. On the other hand, spending time with ambitious people fills you with purpose. They talk about ideas, plans, and solutions. They don't waste time blaming others. They focus on what they can control. Their drive becomes contagious. When you see them working hard, you feel inspired to do the same. When you hear their discipline, it wakes up your own. It's not about judging others. It's about protecting your future. If you truly want to grow, you must learn to say no to environments that keep you stagnant. You cannot climb higher while carrying the weight of people who refuse to move. You can care about them, but you can't let them slow you down. Growth requires separation. It requires you to choose your company with intention. The people you spend time with are either your fuel or your anchor. They either lift you up or pull you down. Every successful person understands this truth. They protect their environment fiercely because they know that mindset is influenced by exposure. You cannot think big if you're surrounded by small thinkers. Your environment also includes the content you consume, the places you visit, and the conversations you entertain. If your days are filled with negativity, distractions, and mindless scrolling, your thoughts will reflect that. But if you fill your environment with knowledge, discipline, and positivity, your thinking will grow sharper and more focused. You become what you consistently absorb. That's why changing your environment is often the first step to changing your life. Surround yourself with people who are doing better than you, and you'll naturally want to improve. Spend time with people who talk about growth, and you'll begin to believe in your potential again. You rise to the level of those around you. The truth is, environment creates identity. It shapes how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Lazy people build comfort zones, successful people build growth zones. One leads to regret, the other to results. If your current circle doesn't inspire you, it's time to find one that does. Don't fear being the least experienced or the least successful person in the room. That's exactly where you should be, around people who make you stretch beyond your limits. Iron sharpens iron, and excellence sharpens excellence. If you want to live a disciplined, focused, and successful life, fill your environment with people who live that way too. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. You can't stay motivated forever, but your surroundings can keep you disciplined. Choose carefully who you allow into your world. Protect your energy, because not everyone deserves access to it. The people you walk with today are a preview of your tomorrow. If you walk with the lazy, you will become comfortable. If you walk with the driven, you will become unstoppable. Your environment is your mirror. Whatever it reflects, you eventually become. Action is the ultimate weapon against laziness. It is the force that transforms thoughts into results, dreams into reality, and plans into progress. No amount of motivation, inspiration, or wishing can replace the power of action. You can read every book, watch every motivational video, and plan every detail of your future, but if you do not act, nothing changes. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Laziness whispers that you should wait for the perfect moment, for the right mood, for a sign. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. The only right time is now. Every second you wait is a second lost, and success belongs only to those who move, not to those who hesitate. Procrastination is a thief dressed in comfort. It gives you temporary relief from responsibility, but robs you of long-term achievement. It makes you feel productive while doing nothing that truly matters. You convince yourself that you're planning, preparing, or thinking it through, but in reality, you're just standing still. The mind finds endless reasons to delay: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of effort. But all those fears vanish the moment you take the first step. Action destroys fear while inaction feeds it. Every great success story began with someone taking imperfect action. They didn't wait to have all the answers, they started and figured it out along the way. People often overestimate the importance of motivation. They think they need to feel ready before they begin. But feelings are unreliable. They change from day to day. If you depend on emotion to decide your effort, you'll never be consistent. Action must come first, and motivation follows after. When you take action, even a small one, your brain releases energy and confidence. You start to feel momentum. That small success fuels the desire to keep going. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the wind to move your ship. You'll be stuck in the harbor forever. But when you act, you create your own wind. You generate your own movement, and suddenly progress becomes natural. The secret to defeating laziness is not to think less, but to move more. Overthinking kills action because the mind turns every step into a problem. You imagine failure before you even begin, but when you act, you silence that noise. You give yourself proof that it's possible. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most important. Once you begin, momentum takes over. You don't need to have the entire path figured out. You just need to start walking. Even a small effort repeated daily will beat massive effort done occasionally. Laziness loses its power the moment you do what it doesn't want you to do. Action doesn't mean chaos or random effort. It means intentional movement toward your goals. It's about doing what matters most, not what's easiest. Lazy people spend their days being busy without being productive. They confuse activity with progress. But true action is focused. It's aligned with purpose. It means doing what will actually change your life, even when it's uncomfortable. It's waking up early, staying consistent, and refusing to quit when things get tough. Every time you push yourself to act, you strengthen your discipline and weaken your laziness. The more you act, the easier it becomes, until it turns into a habit that defines your life. There will always be moments when you don't feel like doing anything. That's when action matters most. Success is not built on how you feel. It's built on what you do despite how you feel. Winners act even when they're tired, uncertain, or uninspired. They understand that movement creates clarity. When you take action, doors open that you didn't even know existed. Opportunities appear because effort attracts them. Life rewards those who take responsibility, not those who make excuses. Every single act of discipline, every small decision to do instead of delay builds a foundation for success. Action is the only cure for laziness. You can't think your way out of it, you have to move your way out. The gap between dreams and reality is closed only by consistent, daily effort. Don't wait for the right feeling, the right day, or the right plan. Start now, with what you have where you are. Because tomorrow is just another excuse dressed as time. The world doesn't remember those who almost did something. It remembers those who took action and made it happen. Every second of hesitation is a lost opportunity. So take the first step, however small, and keep moving forward. Action turns weakness into strength, doubt into confidence, and laziness into success. The life you want begins the moment you stop waiting and start doing. Laziness is the silent thief of potential, the invisible weight that holds countless dreams hostage. It whispers comfort but delivers regret. Throughout this journey, you've seen how it hides behind excuses, destroys discipline, weakens habits, poisons environments, and delays action. But you've also learned that the cure exists within you. The power to rise, to change, to move, and to act is already in your hands. Every time you choose effort over ease, growth over comfort, and progress over procrastination, you are defeating the enemy that once controlled you. Success is not a mystery. It's a decision made daily. To do what others refuse to do, you must understand the world doesn't reward intention, it rewards action. No one becomes great by thinking about greatness. They become great by working for it. Every excuse you silence, every distraction you reject, every morning you rise early instead of giving in to comfort. Those moments shape your destiny. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. The smallest act done with discipline is worth more than the biggest plan left undone. Laziness may visit your mind, but you must never let it stay. Your dreams are waiting, your future is watching, and time is moving, whether you do or not. One day you will look back and either thank yourself for acting or regret that you didn't. So start now. Don't wait for motivation, don't wait for permission, don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one you create through movement. Stand up, take control, and decide that your life will no longer be ruled by laziness. Because in the end, it's not talent, luck, or timing that defines success. It's the courage to act when comfort tells you not to. The moment you move, you win. The moment you act, you begin. And the moment you stay consistent, you become unstoppable.